welcome back. There's a topic that was brought up to me yesterday, I believe. Sorry, that would have been Friday. Apologies. Time goes a little differently when you sleep during the day and you work at night. So on Friday, I met up with a friend, helped him out with a couple of things, and there was a very good question that he asked that is not being addressed. Now, this is throughout the church, from what I understand. Obesity. However, I can only address bits and pieces of this simply because I have not been to enough churches in order to see how prevalent this is. I have been to probably 30 churches in my entire lifetime overall, and going back through the memories here, I can remember seeing quite a few overweight and heavy-set individuals. Now, to my recollection, this was talked about as far as excess, as in, like, you should watch your weight and not eat that much stuff. But as far as Bible verses and stuff relating to these Bible verses as far as your health being concerned, there was more in the book of Numbers talking about the rules that were passed on to the Jews and the Israelites back then than there was about gluttony or obesity. The problem with that is there are many Christians out there who are obese. I have struggled with being overweight myself, not to the point of being unhealthy, but because I had personal issues and I stopped caring for a while. I gave up. But for others, this is habitual habit of, I want to say greed, but I cannot confirm that. This is not out of necessity. They are not eating to survive. They are eating because they want to, because they run to it as a defense mechanism whenever there are issues or problems. So it's either because they want to eat more or because it's some defense mechanism to help them, quote unquote, feel good. That is a problem. And yet, this is not being talked about, because if it were, as you very well know, many members would leave. They would probably, in today's day and age, be offended and leave, rather than taking a look at themselves and asking whether or not they were healthy and what they could do to improve their health. Now, the method in how this would be brought up, could be brought up. Okay, so the method on how all of this would be talked about when it is brought up is one of the factors that would make a lot of this understandable and less problematic, because people would not be offended by that. If these words are applied in such a way, then yes, that could work. I have seen people talk about this logically and without rushing to their feelings or emotions, thinking that the other person was trying to wrong them or hurt them in some way, shape, or form. Now, largely, when I have heard of this was, the individual's weight was used in such a way to cause more drama in the workplace or in the personal life. Now, as far as spouses criticizing other spouses, I've heard stories here and there, and a lot of jokes were made about that, sure. But inside the church, it's just hardly ever talked about. This is a problem. And yet, I wish I could bring up some statistics here. I do not remember the statistics as far as how many overweight adults there are in the U.S., but it is a very high number. In fact, country in the world. This is just something that is being neglected. So what can be done about this besides just simply, getting your stuff together and hitting the gym, so to speak? Well, by reworking your mind, by eating and sleeping right, getting enough of the right food, getting enough of the right amount of sleep. Now in that case, I want to say that since I work nights, I have to take some over-counter medication in order to help fall asleep. That is a requirement. I absolutely need that because I will not get sleep otherwise. I'm a very light sleeper as it is. I've always been a light sleeper. Alright. So besides medication, besides focusing on the right values to get your mind in shape, to get your mind right, encouraging yourself with the truth, reminding yourself that your health matters. Now this is actually tied to what I said about, getting your mind right and all that, but the whole thing is there's no one else who can take care of your health but you. And if anyone else tries to, they're going to do a half-hearted attempt at the very best. I mean, yes, okay, the rare case of spouses lovingly attend to each other, when they fall sick or whatever, but that is increasingly rare to the point of being non-existent. And I say that thinking back to half a dozen stories of these men who, comments that I've read, their stories that I've heard on here, on YouTube, about their wives leaving them when they've lost their job. In fact, there was this one video I saw recently, either here on this platform or on Facebook, about this man who had just gotten married a month ago, who lost his job, and he walks in on his quote-unquote wife packing her bags and leaving. Like, wow. Anyway, that's it. I just want to throw this out here. You need to focus on your health. No one else will. And your health is one of the most important parts that will carry you throughout your life.